Yo! Video games.
You might need to close the game and reopen it.
That delayed?
I'm just saying it would have
Because it downloaded and it had to put the game into the game, so you probably should,
put the game into the game. Putting the game in the game. In the game. I like that.
I mean, you can go to New Game Plus and then.
Yeah.
Show me resolve. I don't even know. Oh, you're playing on this mode
But
specifically,
it would have been better for you because you can practice and figure out your buttons before you go into this.
That'll be fine. Wait, hold on. Why are we doing the roguelike mode when
Right.
we should be looking at somewhere like really pretty in the game or whatever?
Thank you.
This has a lot of pretty shit.
There's no pretty shit in the
Danny's like,
roguelike
it's
mode.
pretty. Danny's like, you pretty bitch.
Look at that water.
Yeah, pretty water.
There are better areas too, the snow areas and shit.
There's snow areas. There's like basically all the areas of the game are in this game.
There's just like water. Ooh.
You want me to skip this?
Must not let my.
So you know what I am noticing?
Skip.
I am.
You're not gonna play it.
I
right?
am.
I am gonna play it.
When?
Soon.
You're like
I am definitely.
I don't beat games for like 4 years ago.
beginning.
what?
You know I don't
Where's
beat
it?
years until like 4 years later.
I am definitely being manipulated on my impressions of the PS5 Pro by Rebirth
Yeah.
because it is so much better looking than
Right.
what that base performance
the upgrade
experience
is high.
The upgrade on something like Rebirth is substantial. All of the games we've seen so far, thus far, are not that huge of an upgrade in comparison to what I remember the game being before. And I think that just goes to show how rough FF7 Rebirth ran on base PlayStation 5 in performance mode.
Yeah.
Where it was really blurry, dude. And when you had it on a TV like this, you'd really notice it. That's kind of the thing, where that one game is effectively doing it for me. Everything else is the value of this system is becoming less and less and less the more I see a lot of these other games, because these games already look really good.
Yeah.
And they already perform really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But a lot of them, like, someone's, like, they're almost like Sony first party, so they're like,
No, that was the point.
Yeah, most of these first party games are already quite good.
Well, yeah, and it's not like there's a lot of third-party games that take advantage of the PS5 Pro.
But Rebirth was like literally I just opened my eyes. Like it is fucking like anybody that looks at that now is like, holy shit, that game looks fucking amazing. Oh, it's already on, so you're
yeah,
good.
it's already on.
Most of these other games, like these big first party Sony games, are already performing great. And they already look really good, you know? Even Steve admitted that like you're playing it likely on a 1080p TV at home and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
And it already looks kind of similar. Like even on this big TV.
I think my TV's 1080. I mean, because the 4K stuff, like I'm not gonna notice. But I'd need like a gigantic TV anyway. Like,
You would definitely notice, like once you see the difference and next to you, you're like, oh, good lord. Like it's pretty substantial.
what's the minimum size requirement for a TV to do 4K?
I mean, that does 4K.
That one right there.
Yeah, it's 32 inches.
But that's a PC monitor
Yeah.
versus
Well, I mean, you get a TV.
Well, what's
you
the
just
difference at this point?
Get a 40-inch TV.
The difference is you can you can add a cable to it and
Right, yeah, like a TV with
What's the
Wi-Fi,
slam?
more HDMI things on the back, but they're essentially basically the same shit now.
PCs, yeah. I use TVs to extend.
Don't I not have
my,
the slam chat?
to extend my PC?
It's like when they were showing that Ratchet and Clank game, and that game already looked fucking amazing,
Yeah.
just in general, right? And then they show it like it looks
R2,
even better
yeah.
now, and it's like, okay, it looks obviously like
I'm
better,
doing R2, it's not doing it.
but it was still one of the best looking games on the system. Like it already looked fucking amazing. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man
Maybe they
as
don't
well,
have it?
a good example.
Push start and check your buttons.
Or just maybe it's the end.
R2, the chat's saying R2.
Maybe
Yeah, I
it's the
know.
end of a combo. Stop aiming in R2.
No, because normally this is spin and then slam.
I don't remember spin to slam.
Xbox, thank you.
Oh, yeah. You do this and then, that's like his most damaging move.
Stop aiming and then hit R2 after spinning it. Maybe you have to be in neutral.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. That's what the problem was. Okay, I just got my buttons wrong. Thank you. This is the shit. There it is. Thank you, guys. I was aiming. Simmons with that. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I just kind of remember how sometimes this weird shit works, where it's like, oh well, you need to be like neutral, not this, because if you're doing this, it changes everything.
Again, the PlayStation 4, really great games, great visuals, right?
Yeah.
Here's your PlayStation 4 Pro. Cool. PlayStation 5 comes out. Well, it's effectively a PlayStation 4, but better.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is my PlayStation 4 Pro.
Pro.
And then the PS5 Pro comes out, and it's like, hey, here's your PlayStation 4 games again, but now they're even better. And it's like PlayStation 4 Pro.
It's PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro,
PS5.
PlayStation 4 Pro Extra,
Yes.
PlayStation 4 Pro Premium.
For PlayStation 4 Pro Extra Premium.
Extra premium.
Right,
Because
you
it's
know
an
how,
ultra.
You know how their PSN now is like PSN and PSN Extra and PSN Premium.
And like, I mean, I get it. The NVMe loading, the SSD stuff, that is big, right? That is a genuine game changer when it comes to newer games, is that they just load way faster. But to be real, like, yeah, you go back and you look at PS4 games like God of War and shit, and fucking Spider-Man and Last of Us 2 and all this stuff, and even FF7 Remake, it's like, fuck, man. Like, the games look a bit better than this, but are they like leaps and bounds generationally? Like, oh, this is the big difference. Like, I don't. Like they look like better PS4 games, is what they. So that's what we're saying. That's what my whole argument is that the PlayStation 5 Pro is effectively the PS4 Pro
Premium.
Pro Prime.
Because it was, like I
is.
said, PS4 Pro, Pro Extra for vanilla PS5, Pro Premium.
Yeah, and as I'm looking at all of these other games, you know, I personally think of all the shit we've seen so far that we have run into tonight, which are Pro enhanced games. Dude, Rebirth is like the one, and that comparison is only apt because the core PS5 60 FPS mode was what it was, and it was a very blurry game. It was completely playable, and it ran 60, but it looked like it was sub 1080 most of the time.
I had upscalers, like I said, 2 upscalers, and it helped.
Might hurt.
It helped.
It really helped. But it sure did help.
It looked so rough that we were doing shit like that, you know? And at this point, I was like playing that, and people are like, man, I'm playing this game for the first time right now, and I'm glad I waited. And I'm like, I could kind of see that, dude. I would not have been able to wait, but I could see why people would be glad to have like waited for like an upgrade of some kind, because it is a lot fucking better.
Can you switch your weapons here?
Yeah, you can. But it's kind of just...
Yeah,
better
well, you know
if you
what?
kinda
I still got to
stick with
download
one.
Demon Souls. You know what? I still got to try Demon Souls. Oh, we haven't tried that yet. But the problem is it's Demon Souls, dude. That shit already looked fucking amazing on a base PS5. That was always my barometer for the best looking game ever whenever we turned it on. So I'm very curious to see how much better that can even look.
But that game was also a very controlled environment kind
for
of
sure.
game. So like it's like when fighting games used to be the best looking games on a system.
Yeah.
Because it was just, one stage, 2 characters. That's it.
They were always the pushers.
We can just max out everything we're doing because we only have 2 characters in one background. And only one side of the background.
Dragon's Dogma got helped out a lot too. See, I can see that, but I have the PC version to compare that to, so it's not going to be as impressive to me. Because I already played Dragon's Dogma on a version that looked really good.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is weird. That game just fell off a cliff.
It was Dragon's Dogma again, bro. It sold well enough, but
It was too much of the same.
it was the same game. It was like they remade it. It was very weird.
I mean, more Dragon's Dogma, I guess.
More Dragon's Dogma. It didn't it was able to execute the concepts that they had 10 years ago again and actually like effectively execute them. But were they dramatically like different? Once again, it's one of those games where it's like I'm a big Capcom head, but I played that shit and I'm like, this was about the same part where I was getting lost in Dragon's Dogma 1. It's like the same shit. And some people, weirdly enough, like DD1 more. Ended up liking that first game a bit more. It was interesting. I don't know. I wonder why.
Maybe they're just used to it more.
You have to change your weapon. Do more damage.
I say, brother. Up your ass, brother. If there's one thing about God of War that was kind of a bummer for me at the end of Ragnarok,
Thinking he dies.
I was sort of done with the combat at the end of this. There's another game that was like that. Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah.
I was kind of done with Spider-Man's combat at the end of Spider-Man 2, and I realized I've been playing this for 3 games. And then they changed it up with the Venom shit a little bit, which was nice. That helped a bit because it was completely new things. But at the end of this, it was like the core combat loop was not altered enough to like, oh man, it's like I feel like it didn't change enough to really get me going.
To be honest,
But I hate that. I hate the fact that, or not the fact, but I hate it when sometimes they change it up so much that it's drastically different.
Yeah, dude, finding that balance is fucking hard, right?
Yeah.
But a great example of it is like Devil May Cry 5. Great example. Every time there's a new DMC game, you get these like incremental upgrades from obviously the previous one, and they're at like a unique spot where they're not the exact same as the previous games like 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
And in DMC 5, it was like they leveled things up to a point of like ridiculousness that it kept you make me so powerful now, it's crazy, but I fucking love it. You know
what's funny? When DMC 5 first came out, I didn't like the combat because it was so drastically different, but once you got used to it, you
get it. It's like, oh, this is what Devil May Cry combat is. Because DMC combat is very specific.
So I'll say this. Was that the same with Bayonetta? Did Bayonetta change up the combo styles?
Bayonetta is almost the exact same, and Bayo 3 promotes a lot of interesting stuff, but it just didn't catch me as much for some reason. Bayonetta 2 was definitely like, oh, this is just Bayonetta 1, but way better. How do I go back to the previous one?
And that's what I like. Taking the same system but improving on it. You don't have to take away stuff to make something different, you know what I mean? And like you said, there's a balance in all of that shit. And if they can't figure out the balance, then you get more
3
combat.
was very different. Am I wrong? 3 felt like they were, it was...
there's definitely a lot of wild swings.
They were leaning in some crazy shit really hard.
3. 3 is definitely overhated because people were really upset with the story, and I'm like...
Overhated?
Oh yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah, the story's whack in Bayo 3, but who the fuck's playing Bayo for story? Or whatever.
I think it's because the story in 1 wasn't particularly great, but the story in 2
was like
snuck up on you that it was good.
And I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fun, and 3 is just kind of like everywhere. It's really good, but I'd almost wait at this point for like the Switch 2.
Sure.
And you know, potentially running. Really
I think what it is,
Well,
it's
they haven't
like
announced it for
to me.
one,
No, Nintendo owns it.
To me, when you get like combat and sequels to games that are really combat focused, you got to make it seem like, oh my god, how can I go back and play the old game? This is so much better.
3 is
to improve on concepts so much.
3 is very much like trying to do different things.
Yeah.
You know, it's trying not to be, well, it's the same game but a little more.
It doesn't really do that. Yeah.
And I appreciate it. I don't know if it works out 100% of the time. I actually like Viola, who's all based on parries. Or whatever. I don't even remember the character's name. Thought it was V. Whatever. The one punk chick. I actually liked having a character who was more about parries, where Bayo's always about dodging, right? But you can get the you know, come on, I want to Leia, whatever, bracelet, and, you know, do parries as Bayo.
Sure.
But... it's Viola, yeah. I actually liked playing as Viola. I didn't mind because of, like, you know, it's like, hey, platinum and parries do go well together.
That's what their bread and butter is.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, like that feeling exactly of like it's hard to go back to the previous games because like the new one is so much better.
Yeah.
Like DMC 5 kind of does that because of what they do with character power levels. Like what they give Dante and what they give like respectively like Nero. It's like, whoa, this is so wild and different, but also very similar, you know.
I think if you look at Bayo 3 as like not even necessarily like a Bayonetta game.
And I think that may be why it didn't catch me because at some point I just didn't go back to it. It was just like I treated that game effectively the exact same as I did Astral Chain, where I'm like, this is really cool and I like it, but something about the gameplay loop of it just doesn't like. I'm inspired, but it doesn't really grab me by the balls. Right, like I can't wait to go back in and play more. Balls.
It's a really interesting game. I mean, is it as good as 2? Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
3?
Yeah.
No, 2's the best. 2 is absolutely the best Bayonetta game. But I don't think 3's that bad. 3 is...
oh, the performance problems. I forgot about that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we just wait till the next system.
I think that was a big thing for me, too, was that it just was rough looking, bro.
Yeah. And apparently they had to scale it down a lot because the fucking potato couldn't handle it. And even Nintendo apparently was the one that was like, you know, it's taking a long time for you to get this game. I'm like, yeah, we can't get it to them. Like, why don't you segment it? Like, The Nintendo literally came in and said, "This our system can't do this."
Yeah.
Like you're trying to do stuff our system can't handle.
For sure.
So I'd almost just like maybe wait for the next system to
Yeah, and I think that'll probably happen.
potentially run it better.
Yeah, man, it's Nintendo's own fault. They're making systems that are just not that equipped to
I
do
mean,
shit like that. And they're
their
like,
fault for being
They're still
highly
gonna do it.
successful. I mean, I guess.
they've said like, hey, we're not competing with anybody, and then when they say, hey, can you make this
They
game?
are.
They're like, nah. Well, then it's like, well, okay, then you made that choice.
Well, no, they made the choice. They made the choice to try to make a game overly ambitious for what they had for their hardware.
Yeah, Ragnarok was still one of the best games I played of that year. But like Ragnarok and Spider-Man, I do remember feeling that way towards the end of it.
Bayonetta plays much better on the Switch than it does on the Wii U. It is not a Wii U only game.
Yep.
It is on Switch, and it actually does play much better
Yep.
on the Switch. So it's the best legal way to play Bayonetta 2.
Oh, you know what?
Illegal.
You know what game? Perfect example of what I'm talking about. Where it's like, oh my god, how do I go back to the first one after this? Fucking Doom to Doom Eternal. Maybe you don't like the level design as much as Doom Eternal. I get that.
No,
but
you know what I don't like?
Not having the dash.
The
It's
thing
like
I
shit.
don't like in Doom Eternal was how scarce they made ammo.
Well, they made it real. They made it a part of the gameplay loop.
Right.
Where you had to use this to get more ammo of that.
Right.
And you, rip this guy to get that.
Because in Eternal, your chainsaw's on cooldown.
Yes. The chainsaw is an ammo thing.
Right.
now.
So now it's on cooldown. So when you run low on ammo, you chainsaw someone, get some ammo. So you're doing like you're constantly like running out though. Whereas in Doom 1, 2016, Doom 4, whatever, you would find oil cans for canisters for oil for the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Chainsaw was sort of like a bonus you would get sometimes. So it's like, okay, use the chainsaw more.
Now
but
it's
you also-
directly integrated into gameplay.
Yeah. But it also means there's just less ammo around.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the
But it's really good.
game flow when you get to the ending of Doom Eternal was just
Well, the
so
jumping
good.
and the hook shotting and the dash
Yeah,
dashing and
dude,
Doom
that shit's
Eternal.
not there in the
right,
first game.
and that is rough. I'd almost like to play like Doom Eternal, maybe with some.
I didn't like all the light platforming and puzzle solving in Doom Eternal. I just didn't. I thought it was only okay.
Also, there's way too much story in Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Oh god,
I remember
dude.
almost none of it.
Oh my god, there's so much fucking story in Doom Eternal.
The Doom 2016 was pretty minor on story.
Right, yeah. Oh my god, they try to go so fucking hard and long-winded on story in Doom Eternal. I'm like, oh my god, it's Doom. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like that was like story definitely detracted from this game.
So, it is no piece of Asgard at all. Just something spun from your memory of it.
Yeah, they tried to backstory everything in it. Yeah.
Brother, I must admit,
Unnecessarily backstory. We don't need that much in
Yeah.
a Doom game. Yeah.
sense to me,
I see it.
better God of War.
But again,
This looks very good, Kenny.
Yes.
But it looks like God of War, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
They didn't.
I don't think this looks any better than
They
the
didn't change
original
it.
game.
It's the same.
It is enhanced. It certainly is. It's
Is
just
it?
Is it though? Right?
The increase is going to be the same shit that we kind of saw from a perspective of when we changed the horizon shadows. You know, the ambient occlusion. It's kind of like that, where it's like a pretty minor increase overall. I think the resolution's obviously a little bit higher, but God of War Ragnarok already on its 60 FPS mode was damn good.
Yeah.
Like really fucking good. I think it's more of a testament to Sony Santa Monica how much they were cramming this engine.
What the fuck ever happened to Cory Barlog's sci-fi game? Is that ever fucking happening?
Barlog.
I'm remembering.
My face. I thought I said Kenny's doing good.
I mean, I don't care as much anymore.
Yeah, that
because
first
I got
one's
my
designed for you to
Ghost of
lose.
YoVideogames, so whatever. But don't you think it's? I mean, I know we all complain, "Oh, no, this game's too early," but I'm like, we don't know fucking shit from what Sony's doing beyond like a fucking Insomniac leak and Ghost of YoVideogames. If you really think about it, like,
Yeah.
what are they doing? What are we looking forward to?
Well, dude, there's no game. We're still waiting for the big PlayStation showcase. It's been 2 years. Right? It's been 2 years.
Wait. Doesn't Gilly
My
work
eyes.
for Sony Santa Monica?
Of course he does.
Our sci-fi game was canned.
Well, that sucks.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Cheating splice.
I'm sorry, Gilly.
That sucks. That happens. This is the nature of the industry.
Damn.
You work on something for a long ass time and do work on it, and it will just go away.
Damn.
LLJB3, and you can't put it on your fucking resume.
Oh, dude, that's some horse nipples.
You can't put games that haven't come out on your resume.
I'm actually curious if the ethics of that has changed, Gilly. Like, I don't know if you would know because you guys are pretty cush over there at Sunny Santa Monica, but have you run into any other situations where people are on projects that obviously did not come out, but a shit ton of work was done on them just because commitment to games is so long now, where they could even take credit for that work of, like, you know, projects that are effectively still NDA'd for like 10 years? I don't even know what the ethics in the industry is regarding that anymore, or if it's changed.
Bro, you know what really sucks is someone was saying how because Sony shut down the Concord devs.
No idea, because you've been at Sony for 20 years and you don't want to go anywhere else. Yeah, I get it. I figured as much. It's like you guys are. Everybody that's at Sony Santa Monica is mad cush. Like, you guys hella cushy. It's been like the best gig.
Oh man. Well, anyways, like so they fucking shut down Firewalk or whatever who made Concord, right?
Right, of course.
And they're like,
That's shocking.
they can't they can't use that on their resume because it's going to be a death sentence on their resume.
Yes, I know. Oh yeah.
And
oh
they
yeah.
were working on that shit for years.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely.
I'm like,
another issue of like the ethics in the industry is that like, oh no, we released a game that didn't hit, but what you did personally might have been really good because the games are made by like hundreds of people, right? So you worked on all the armor details, but if you put that on your fucking resume, it might be bad
yeah,
because people look at that and go, ugh.
yeah, that sucks.
Oh.
Here's the thing.
And at one point, you might have to, because like 5 years. So, hey, what'd you do with those 5 years? Sure.
We're all on vacation. Fuck Herman. Fuck Herman a bit for killing Firewalk. Like, I get it, you had the biggest fucking flop of all time or whatever, but Herman was Mr. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. I believe in this, or we're going to push Concord for SummerSlam. Motherfucker doesn't eat any of the fucking... Nothing happens to him. He just gets a fucking multi-million-dollar bonus at the end of the year. But what good is getting rid of a whole dev studio full of industry veterans instead of just, okay, well, like, let them collect themselves, dust themselves off, and make something better next time? Like,
Called money.
now you have nothing.
You don't have any money.
Now you have nothing but a fucking loss.
I remember like even hearing from like the devs of that game that like the writing was on the wall, that like several artists and people knew that like they would try to argue themselves out of the situations, but they're not calling the shots, you know. You don't make those choices, you just do what somebody else tells you to do. It's like being, you know, one part of a moving part of a giant movie.
Because the thing is, it's not like Sony's like in dire straits or something where it's like, oh my god, like if I don't fire 300 people right now, well, our company is going under completely. Everyone.
No, and he's getting pressured from investors and shit.
Right. I'm like,
It's literally coming from.
Well, I'd rather have a studio of vets that goes back to the drawing board with something completely else, so that in a few years I could have something that could make a lot of money rather than absolutely fucking nothing but a money sink now.
And what if you can't afford to do that?
They're Sony. That's my point. That is what I just said. Put your phone away. like my entire point is that they're not hurting.
You'd be surprised on who can get allocated money in the departments. Yes, it's Sony, but you're talking about departments, and one department may not be able to get that kind of money.
The head of PlayStation was the big champion for the game. He's getting multi-million-dollar bonus this year.
Hey, man.
Everyone else can pound sand.
Hey man, he's getting his check so that he can buy another yacht. He cannot afford to make a game. He needs that yacht, Simmons, okay? That's a very specific yacht that he has, that he's very important to him.
Doesn't Kratos shave his beard in this mode or some shit?
No, he shaved his pubes.
Kenny.
69th boat.
All right, so I got back out. I didn't finish it, but I got to a point.
It looks good. I think the last thing we need to do.
I think you should have gone to somewhere pretty in this game.
There's a lot of pretty shit.
Bro, you were looking at gray rocks.
But most impressive game overall visually that we've seen so far is 100% Horizon.
Yeah.
1000%. Horizon's like Final Fantasy VII is impressive because of the upgrade from what the game was on base PS5.
Yeah.
But Horizon just overall is just like, Jesus Christ, this shit is so good looking.
Pretty gray rocks, sure. Go somewhere pretty. There's a lot of pretty places in this game.
You're gonna go pretty place, Kenny.
Go to a pretty place?
Go to a pretty place.
Go Kenny, pretty place,
There's
Kenny.
so many pretty places in this
I'll
game.
go a pretty place.
I'm on like New Game Plus or.
I have to look at my phone. I can't look at any of this
Continue.
shit. Everything you did was fucking spoilers for me, so I had to look at my phone.
There was no
Steve, you haven't
spoilers.
beaten this game?
I've beaten the game. I haven't played Valhalla.
Oh, that's not
Valhalla
spoilers.
DLC.
Oh, that's just DLC.
So literally the spoilers.
The spoilers don't come until like after you get.
I was watching that whole thing. I don't
After
know
you
anything
beat.
I think
yeah.
Re-
Well, yeah, because you never played that shit.
Rebirth's the biggest
You're not going
upgrade.
to.
Horizon's like still like the overall.
Still the
just,
king.
Like, just, God damn.
How about
game
this
looks
place?
good. See, this looks good.
Wow.
This looks good. This is good. This
Wow.
Is
No
what I'm
upgrade
talking.
needed. No upgrade needed.
Well, I mean, it is upgraded.
This is definitely
upgraded.
upgraded. This is definitely upgraded.
It's not running on a base PS5 right now.
This is definitely crisper and cleaner.
Kenny, is it still running in the one mode? Because I'm seeing some framey shit.
Yeah.
You seen that too? Yeah, when we're tilting camera and shit.
Hey, check the settings.
Something on frame pacing's a little weird here.
Graphics, definitely.
PS5 Pro Enhanced. Look at it. What does it say?
Go to scaling.
Go. Do me a favor. Go to graphics mode number 1 and see what it says.
Give them a controller, Kenny.
Quality features. Okay, just change it. Okay, quality features enabled at higher frame rate cinematic resolution, favoring quality. Target 60.
Targeting.
It's not hitting that. Favor quality.
No.
Favor performance. Try favor performance for me.
Yeah, it's running
Okay,
better.
that's running better.
Is it really hard for studios to do things at 60 frames?
Well, sure.
Yes.
Especially if you want something to look like this.
And be as big as this is. And to not load anything ever. Yeah, this looks better. Weird.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Go back to settings. And,
This isn't a pro mode though, right? But I'm getting it, but it's definitely getting enhanced in some way. Like
Go to-
performance
go to-
mode has dynamic resolution,
go to
so
PS5
it's
Pro, and then what are
scaling
the
higher.
scaling options? What are the
Oh, PSSR anti-scaling.
That's
It's
what I'm
already
saying. What-
already doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir?
Yeah, it's using PSSR. So go back to performance mode. It's already if you turn that off, go to performance mode number 1. Yeah, favorite performance, and then turn off the scaling. Go to like TAA or whatever the hell it does. Go left. Yeah,
Temporal.
go TAA. That's the original.
Your homeland.
Jeez.
I'd heard the gods.
Still looks good, dude.
Any flavor of power you could imagine.
And the game has a dynamic resolution, which means it'll drop resolution to maintain 60 normally. But it's running on hardware that is allowing it to run higher resolution. So it still looks very good. Still looks really fucking high res, dude.
It's the same to me,
It's minor as fuck.
right?
Hold that thought.
It's just a very good looking PS4 game. Isn't it?
It is on PS4.
I know.
I mean, 30
It's on
only.
PS5, but it's on PS4.
It's a PS4 game?
It's 4 on PS5. PS5 and this PS4. She ain't doing shit.
There she goes.
That was weird. No, she didn't do shit. You just
head got
killed.
cut off.
Yeah, you just died. She didn't do
I
shit.
died.
Yeah.
Simmons playing on
16.66 milliseconds.
Oh, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty.
oh yeah, we're not on Simmons's.
Yeah, we're on mine, so it's like you fucking
Don't
die
get
if
hit.
somebody looks at you difficulty.
Yeah, don't get hit.
I didn't even see the attack.
Yeah.
Careful, they're behind you.
Hope he's on fire.
Ah!
Big lizard.
She's enjoying the show.
Oh, about to die.
Damn. Level 3.
How do you enjoy a game where you get hit like once on one little pip of health like that, and you're on nearly dead?
The challenge. That's
I
the
didn't
challenge.
love it in this game. It just made enemies like. To me, it felt like enemies just became super spongy.
I played on the
and-
second hardest. And
Yeah,
that to
I
me
wish I
was
went
the
one
sweet
difficulty
spot.
lower.
That's the sweet spot. The other one is just
I can't
like,
remember if I
like
changed
it's
it.
like Simmons said, like they just didn't know how to do hard mode. The one right before hardest mode is the sweet spot. It's fucking challenging as fuck, but not stupid.
Can you heal yourself?
There's just waves somewhere. I forgot.
This looks very good still, and you're not even running on Pisser, and you're not even running
So
on.
yeah, what if you jump everything back up?
It's extremely minor. Do scaling Pisser, yeah. Do that first, dude.
Chat says
It's a little better.
Ghost of Tsushima did it better.
Difficulty wise?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well,
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima's hardest difficulty was like one hit kill. but you one hit killed them too.
Oh, that's dope.
So
yeah.
their hardest
So
difficulty, in my opinion, was the realism mode. Wasn't actually that good because it made it so that you don't really get to engage with enemies that much.
Right.
Like they
Yeah,
you either you die or they die. That's it.
Yeah.
So I liked the one that was right before that, which gave enemies some health to actually enjoy a fight because they just died a bit too fast. Cool. So yeah, I see the difference. It's minor, but it's extremely minor, dude.
Yep. See, I'm trying to remember. This move was like OP as fuck.
And to be honest, like outside of FF7, I'm really starting to see like the differences from other games. It's not nearly that big.
Are we doing Demon Souls?
We should do Demon Souls.
Okay.
Demon Souls is like the last one.